Hi guys, welcome to this week's episode of the Weekly Sports Show. And again, my co-host all the way from San Diego, California, Jason Singh.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about who is the GOAT of the UFC. Uh, Last week itself, they had a huge Twitter. There was a huge debate on Twitter about this topic, with everyone from every division chiming in on who they feel is the GOAT. And me and Fahad have some pretty interesting opinions, and let's see where this goes.
Yeah, so the first tweet which came out was from Conor McGregor. He gave his opinion on where the standings are for the GOAT of the UFC. For first, I'm impressed that he named Anderson Silva because I thought that he would just claim it. But then he gave himself he gave Anderson Silva the first spot and said that he would be either tied or for second place, and then he named John Jones for third. Yeah, John. No, he named GSP to come after that, and then John Jones. So
Yeah.
first, let's okay. So Jason thinks that Anderson Silva is the goat. I think that Conor McGregor is the goat, and then we'll talk about why John Jones isn't the goat and Dana White's response to that. So let's start with Jason and why he thinks Anderson Silva is the goat.
Okay, so this is really funny because after last week's episode, me and Father were actually talking about doing this, and I actually said Anderson Silva is the goat, and surprisingly, Connor also said Anderson Silva is the goat of the UFC. Now, I'm basing my vision of goat. Many people define goat differently. Like people say goat is a person who has like the biggest win streak, or someone who's the or then there's an opinion like who's the best fighter or someone who has held the most titles. There are many different versions of who a person considers the GOAT. For me personally, I think a GOAT, like in the UFC at least, a GOAT should be someone who one has fought against some of the best people out there, like does not shy away from competition. There's no point in having a huge win streak if you're fighting like not good people, and someone who's really fun to watch, right? Like they have to be destructive.
Yeah.
And Anderson Silva, or like the Brazilian Spider-Man, he's definitely one of the best fighters to step on the canvas. Like I think that he probably, in my opinion, has the best strikes in the whole of the UFC. Like when you watch him fight, you know what the UFC is for. Like his kicks, like no one wants to no one wants to fight him apart from Connor, who obviously said yes, he wants to fight him. Like, well, we know now Connor's going to
But
get
would
another
you say
loss
that
if he fights.
to be the GOAT of the UFC, you have to be an interesting fighter and you shouldn't have a record by just beating average fighters? That's why I wouldn't put Khabib up there because although he's got a 27 or 28 in streak, I don't see big names in his resume apart from Conor
Yeah,
McGregor. Apart from maybe Dustin Poirier, but he's somewhere between average and good. He isn't that great. So
yeah.
I'm thinking Conor McGregor's name up there for his resume. That's why I wouldn't
I
put
see.
Khabib.
I'm the biggest Khabib fan out there, like one of the biggest Khabib fans out there. But I agree with that statement because Khabib still has a lot of years left to fight, and
He said that he wants to
he
retire soon. He said that he
he
wants
yeah.
to fight. He wants to fight. He wanted to fight Tony, and then he said that he wanted to fight GSP, and then he wanted to retire. I don't understand that because there are so many
I,
interesting fights out there.
Yeah, I think we'll have a better idea of where Khabib stands in the GOAT discussion once he fights either Gaethje or Conor again,
Yeah.
and then maybe he might have more fights in there like against Tony. But then again, I think a Gaethje fight would actually help me see where he stands. If he beats Gaethje, that actually puts him higher up on the list significantly. Because right now he's probably in the 11th, 12th, maybe around that much of a spot. Like I'm gonna be
Getting back
honest,
to
okay? It hurts me to say this, but it's true. But yeah, so I wouldn't put Connor up there yet. Like I feel like Connor's hyped himself up so much, and then he hasn't been able to deliver in certain fights.
I'll,
I'm sure
I
he's
think
delivered in a few,
I'll
but
definitely reply to that once we're done with Anderson Silva against it. Do you have anything else to say about Silva?
oh yeah, so Silva holds so many records in the UFC for offensive striking. Like if I'm right, he holds the longest win streak in the UFC, the most knockouts in title fights, the most knockouts, most knockdowns. His transitions are crazy good. He's just great, right? He even holds the longest title run in UFC. I think in the middleweight division, he lasted for around 2,470 days, something like that, in that statistic, from all the way from 2006 to 2013. So he's actually amazing as a fighter. He held a record for 16 consecutive victories, which is something which that is insanely good. And even Dana White, I think, even Dana White and Joe Rogan said that he is definitely the best mixed martial artist ever, like ever. There's no debate about that. He can do anything. And I feel like if you look at the spectrum, he started losing right after the Weidman fight because of that leg injury. I feel like that played a psychological role. And obviously, he's aging. That leg injury is what might have strayed many other people from thinking he's the goat, right? He suffered that was very sad to watch because
Look,
he
it
looked
started
like
in
he was winning that fight.
2013. From 2013 to 2019, he's had 6 losses and 1 win. That's why. See, the thing is, even though a record isn't, what do you say, isn't exactly what I'm looking for. What I'm trying to say is that he's had so many losses. So if Connor, like from 35, let's say from age 35 to 40, he gets like some 6 losses like that. I wouldn't put his name up on the court because he, even though a record doesn't matter that much, it matters to a certain extent, and that's why I wouldn't say Anderson Silva because of so many losses. And now let's move on to why I think Connor is the goat. Let's just get these things into perspective. So so first I'll talk about what he's done inside the octagon. He's the first two-weight world champion. So he was the world champion in the featherweight and the lightweight, and he was the first person to do it. He knocked out Jose Aldo, who had a 12-year win streak, a decade long of win streak. Um,
Luke.
and he knocked Jose Aldo out in 13 seconds, which is way more than impressive for me. He's fought in 3 weight classes and he's got a knockout in each weight class. And he's just a versatile fighter who can fight at any weight class, anyone, anytime. It doesn't matter. Apart from defending his titles, I feel like he's done pretty much everything else.
hey, hey, you don't want a fighter who goes out there, wins, and then the next fight where he has to defend his title loses. Come on. Like,
But
because
even
every title fight, like, okay, when a goat is in the ring, right? Like in the octagon, he's someone who should be able to like defend. Because in a title fight, you're basically going against the second, like the best person out there, right? Um, and in title fights is when you fight your best opponents. And I don't think Connor was not able to perform in certain places. And I agree with you that, okay, Connor's done some remarkable things. There's no doubt about that. Okay, there's no doubt about that. But I mean, come on, let's be honest. He's not, I don't think he's accomplished enough yet. If he goes on and wins somehow in the heavyweight division or the middleweight division, well,
he
he
won't be
did
able
win.
to move up to heavyweight because I think even moving up to welterweight is a huge thing because I
Yeah,
feel like people
yes.
like Kamaru Usman and Masvidal are huge. Like
One
Kamaru
punch
is the,
knockouts.
exactly. So I'm not so sure about that. But even if he to cement himself as a goat, he has to beat Justin Gaethje. He has to beat Khabib, and he has
Oh
to
yeah.
regain his if he regains his featherweight title, or if he somehow manages to get the welterweight. I don't think there's any doubt that he's a good if he accomplishes that. But that's a huge thing to ask from him. But from what all he's accomplished already, I feel like he has almost cemented himself. But what I would like to talk about also is not only what he's done inside the octagon as well. He's brought this. I feel like he's the one who has made the sport what it is. He, because of his trash talk, his entertainment and his value which he brought to the UFC. Um, I'm so sure that the views just went up, just skyrocketed. If you check the top 3 fights, I think his name is there in all of them. He's also gone and fought Floyd Mayweather. Even though he's lost, he went 10 rounds with one of the best, or if not the best boxer we've ever seen. So he's been able to do so much, and he's just a versatile guy, and he's someone who many people look up to, especially the Irish, and to bring that kind of crowd with you as well, to bring that entertainment with you as well, is something we've never seen before. Connor is the first person to do that, and I don't think there will be anyone like him anytime in the near future.
See, okay. So what I'm understanding from what your point is, Connor's a good entertainer. He brought a lot of attention to the UFC, and yeah, he did fight some good fights and win. But there's a difference between best entertainer and best fighter in the UFC, right? You if you look at the UFC overall, like in the standings of his GOAT rankings, there's a reason he put Anderson Silva above him. He himself thinks so. And I think it's a good point where you said that if he beats Justin Gaethje and Khabib, okay, that will have a huge impact on whether his credibility, right? He needs to beat Khabib, like for sure, he has to, because that's the biggest rivalry he has had. Like, if he needs to beat Khabib, and well, he told Diaz that he'll see him in July. So if that trilogy happens and he loses to Diaz, that'll be a major
I feel
hit.
like the
And
PS fight has nothing, won't do anything to his career. It's just for money and views and entertainment. I feel like the Khabib fight is what's huge, because
yeah,
if he beats Khabib, that's something too big. Like, if that's the biggest accomplishment he can get at this point, getting his lightweight title back. And if he does do that, then yeah, I'd put him up there.
it'll be very interesting though. If Khabib beats Connor, his GOAT ranking jumps like up. Like he's top five, I think. Then, like if he beats Connor again, he's top five for sure. Like, come on, 29-0, and you fought Conor McGregor twice, and you won against him twice. That's just nasty. And then if he somehow had to fight with Tony and for Justin Gaethje and beats them, all right, Khabib number one. Like, I'm sorry, he's
But
number
if he
one. Like,
doesn't jump up to another weight class, again, I wouldn't put him number
okay,
one.
okay, okay. See, let's be honest here. Right? Khabib's kind of small build. Okay, sadly, he's
Not
not
small.
that.
He's
He's smaller than Connor. Come on, he
no,
is
no, no.
smaller than Connor.
He's bigger than Connor.
Really? What's his?
Yeah, he looks. Wait one sec. Let me search it up. He definitely looks bigger than Connor when they were fighting. Wait, I'll try to share my screen and then get it. But he definitely looked bigger than Connor, 100%.
What? Oh wait, yeah. He
He's
does look.
really built.
He.
Okay, it hurts to look at these pictures, but I mean they're pretty much the same. But
Yeah,
he's
they're the
built from
same.
a
I would say
yeah, they're
they're
pretty much
roughly the
the
same.
same. Yeah.
I love that picture, the second picture, the best picture. Fahad, set it as your wallpaper. Just but yeah, definitely the goat topic's very diverse. Okay, now many of you must be wondering where's John Jones in your debate?
Yeah.
Like, where did John Jones go? Like, people are talking about John Jones everywhere. So, my reasoning for why John Jones is not the GOAT of the UFC. Now, see, John Jones has done a lot for the UFC. He is a powerful fighter. He's done some crazy things, but John Jones, I don't think he stopped winning at a certain point. Like he stopped being as good or as risk taking as he was in the past. It's like as soon as he accomplished like a certain threshold point for himself, he stopped taking risks at all. Like
Okay,
if you looked at his fights,
wait, I'll show you guys his once he continues talking about that.
yeah. So I definitely think that okay, despite him having like nearly he has zero losses, right? And then he
Yeah.
disqualified once,
No,
obviously.
he never
Um,
lost in the UFC. The only loss he had was a disqualification.
illegal downward elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like his risk taking wasn't there. He wasn't as entertaining as Anderson Silva in my eyes. I
Mm,
feel he was more power.
mm.
He's just a powerful guy, right? He's just throwing punches out there. Like if you're talking about go to the UFC, you have to be good at mixed martial arts. You have to be
Yeah.
quick. You have to be Anderson Silva basically invented a whole new type of fighting in the UFC with his legs.
True.
Like no one was throwing those type of kicks in the UFC before Anderson Silva came around.
And if
And
you're gonna focus on John Jones, I'd like to talk about this part when when he was sent to jail or something. No, was he sent to jail or no? He
I
definitely got
think
a
he was,
ban. No, he only got a ban, and he was banned.
yeah,
For the ones who don't know about this, basically he used drugs and he fought Daniel Cormier like that, and he did win. That's why it's a no contest over here. So he got that ban. He got like a year and a half to 2 years of a ban, and that's why there's a break in between over here. You see a year and a half of a break. That's because of the drug ban which the UFC gave. But I would, since he came back, he hasn't been that great because since this fight, the 2018, yeah, the 2018 Alexander Gustafsson fight, it wasn't as he won, but he wasn't as entertaining. Anthony Smith wasn't as entertaining. Thiago Santos was, to be honest, I found it a bit boring. And the Dominic Reyes fight, I thought Dominic Reyes won the fight. So he
yeah,
has
I
had
agree.
a
Yeah,
good recent um
yeah.
couple of fights.
I
And
think during this Thiago Santos fight, I got really bored. I think I went to
yeah,
sleep like afterwards. It was really boring. He wasn't going like he was. They were just basically just like exchanging punches. No one was going in and
yeah,
like trying to knock the other
it was
person out. Like
beautiful.
literally.
And
Yeah.
that's why
And,
I wouldn't put him up there is because unless he goes up to the heavyweight division, see, because light heavyweight, the only fight I see which is interesting is the Dominic Reyes rematch. Because again, as I said before, I think Dominic Reyes won that fight. So in the heavyweight, there are so many interesting fights. Like if he fights DC again, if he fights Stipe Miocic, and even if he fights
fights.
maybe Ngannou, doesn't matter as much because it won't do anything much to his resume, but it's still something. It's an interesting fight we can look forward to. And why John Jones should move up is because he's got the physique, he's got the height, he's got the weight. He can definitely do well over there, and I think he's quick as well. So I don't see why he shouldn't. He's just not that. He's not the old John Jones who used to take those risks. And I
Yeah.
feel like that plays a big factor when you're not entertaining the crowd. When you're not entertained, like no one's excited to watch a John Jones fight anymore. It's just
Exactly.
one of those title fights which even if you don't pay for it, it doesn't matter. If the fight is good, it's kind of like a safe bet to to not pay for it anyway. Because I just don't find him interesting. And let's see what Dana White has to say though, because Dana White said that um, there's no debate. John Jones is the GOAT. So let's just see what he has to say.
Also, one more thing. If he does, so wait, him and Anderson Silva are in the same weight class, right? Both of them are middleweight.
No, no, no.
No, he's
John
light
Jones is light
heavyweight.
heavyweight. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think Anderson Silva could move up a weight class? Do you see that
Uh,
happening?
no, I don't think so because I don't see him winning him in his own weight in the first place because he
Yeah,
lost to
true.
Israel Adesanya. He lost a recent fight. I forgot I think Cannonier. He lost to him as well. So I think I'm sure that Anderson Silva is done right now. I'm
Yeah,
not
I think
really
he's gonna
interested to
retire
see him.
soon. He might be retiring
I'm
tomorrow.
not
Like
interested to
tomorrow.
see an Anderson Silva fight that much, to be honest. Even a Conor McGregor one would be it would be entertaining, but I know that Connor's going to win that as well because it's just going to be another
Or
Cerrone
oh,
thing
oh, so
again.
you think okay? So you think if Anderson Silva and Connor went at it, you see Connor winning that fight?
I see 100% Connor winning that fight. I see,
I see Connor being overconfident and going because see Connor started from like two weight classes down, right? He's
yeah.
just trying to go up and up, and
Did you
he's
see
not go-
what he did against Cerrone? He went and
okay.
knocked him out. Easy,
Okay,
cool.
come on.
There's no debate
If you
about it.
can't take someone of Khabib's size, you're not going against Anderson Silva. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You he can't. He can't.
He's,
John Jones might beat up Anderson Silva really badly, but I
if
do not at right
if
now.
you're
But
talking about prime Anderson Silva, I would definitely say I wouldn't be able to defend Connor as much because I don't know who would
no
win in
one's
that.
winning against Prime Anderson
But
Silva. No one. Not even
washed
Khabib. No
out,
one's
really?
I don't see
Okay.
Khabib beating Anderson Silva Prime. No. I'll be honest with you. Okay, this hurts me to say, but Khabib, no, I don't see him beating Anderson.
I think you're right over there because Anderson Silva is more. is better all round.
Quick. He's
And why I
he's
think
so quick.
washed up Anderson Silva won't beat Connor because Connor's much younger, much smoother, much more slick. He's just better at everything. So
Yeah.
let's wrap it up by watching what Dana White has to say.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't hear you either. So you know it.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
just
Actually, I
let's
have an
just
idea. I have an idea. Give me a second. Okay.
yeah. It's still faint though. I can't hear. You know what? Let's just skip that part. We'll just okay. So since we just can't hear the video properly, we'll just give a gist about what Dana White says. He basically says that John Jones hasn't lost. He's done so. He could have done so many. He could have achieved so many things if he did not use drugs again for the Daniel Cormier fight. That's an if. What if he lost? You can't judge a person just because even though he hasn't it's like an if you're thinking about a possibility. So that's why I don't agree with Dana White over there. And I think why he says that is because he's never lost and he's had interesting fights compared to other fighters. So yeah, that's why I think he's named John Jones as the
Another big factor why John Jones, I believe, is not the GOAT is because the drugs, right? Um, did he think that he wasn't good enough to win that fight that he had to use drugs? It's unsportsmanlike, and to be the GOAT of a sport, I feel that the person has to be sportsmanlike, no matter how good they are or how bad they are. They need to have a certain amount of sportsmanship to not use illegal substances. Like, did he think he was not going to win that fight that he had to use drugs?
and you know he I think last year some towards the end of the year he was caught drinking and driving and having weed in his car. So I mean even Connor has got arrested and everything, but the thing is Connor did not get a ban from the sport. You know, he didn't
Yeah,
waste his
exactly.
time. He didn't risk. I mean, he did risk it all, but he didn't go through that punishment, and that year and a half plays a big role as well. And right now, he's just too dry and he's too boring. I'll just put it out there. John Jones is boring to me
He's
right now.
boring, right? Yeah.
Unless
But
he
yes.
unless he brings out the old John Jones and risks it all each and every single fight, I don't see why he should be even named the GOAT. But so that's what we think. I think this has been a fun episode because I think
Yeah.
Connor's the GOAT. You think Anderson Silva's the GOAT, but both of us agree that John Jones isn't the GOAT.
Not the
Um,
GOAT.
yeah,
Most unpopular opinion out there, but both
yeah,
of us somehow agree on it. Like, watching this are going to be like, oh,
yeah.
what?
I,
John
I
Jones is
I
not
just
the GOAT.
don't see John
I
Jones
don't
as the
see it.
GOAT.
I
I
don't
don't
see
see
him
it.
as the GOAT. Too boring. Too boring.
Yeah,
It's like a
way too
grandfather
boring.
fighting. I'm just joking. John Jones, don't kill me. But yeah. Uh,
Anyway, that's our take on who the GOAT of the UFC is. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you, Jason, for joining us again.
no problem. See you guys next week. Next week's topic is probably going to be as interesting, if not more interesting. So come out there and check it out.
And let us know in the comments what do you guys think. Who you guys think is the GOAT of the UFC?
Go. Yeah. Any
But
other topics that you think you might be interested in hearing our opinion on?
yeah. So
Um,
we'll
just
see you
leave it in
guys
the
next week.
comments. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Bye.